For our first story, we have, am I the asshole for standing up for myself after an estranged friend told me she's pregnant? Hi Reddit. I, 31 female, haven't heard from my college best friend, 29 female, since June. For context, my dog died and she ghosted me, which she also did when my dad died a few years prior. I'd made peace with it after therapy and know people can only meet you as much as they've met themselves. Well, last week she reached out of the blue. I respectfully expressed how she hurt my feelings and how it's shocking to hear from her and that her actions made me feel like shit, during the darkest moments of my life. Well, this week she's telling me she's pregnant, and that I'm going to be an aunt. Would I be the asshole if I simply said, congrats, and good luck with that, and left it at that? Quite frankly, I'm not interested in giving this person another chance and don't feel like being manipulated into a friendship via a child. Update. I said, congratulations, I wish your new fam the best. She said, wow really? I said, at least I didn't ghost you. And blocked her. Thanks for the support. That's the end of our first post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, not the asshole. Good for you. She is thinking of baby gifts and free babysitting, which is likely why she got in touch with you. Stay NC, she was never a real friend. Our second commenter says, not the asshole. If you do want to reply, you could just say congratulations, I wish you guys all the best. Then just block her. Our third commenter says, new phone, who's this? Not the asshole. For our second story, we have, update, fiancé ate my daughter's cupcake. Since I got so many messages, I thought I'd post and update my post. I did get the cupcake, but my daughter's best friend didn't come to school. I texted her dad to see if it was okay to drop it off at their place, and he said absolutely. My daughter was really happy. On the way back, she apologized for being mean in the morning. I told her I understood. She had every right to be heartbroken. Then she asked, does your fiancé hate me? I told her no, she's just disappointed in me, but that's grown-up stuff and has nothing to do with her. That led to a deeper conversation. She said she feels like my fiancé doesn't like her sometimes. She never asks about her soccer games, and when she tries to share something exciting from school, my fiancé tells her to stop being so chatty. I asked if she was maybe busy or in the middle of something, but my daughter said no. After a few times, she just stopped sharing. I asked if she wanted to stay at my parents' house for the night so I could have a serious talk with my fiancé. She said yes. My mom and her are very close. So I talked to my fiancé. She said she's sick of coming second and that it was just a stupid cupcake. She said I should have told her it was for the baby. I asked, what if our child wanted the cupcake, would you have given it to her? She said, a 3 or 4-year-old? Yes, in a heartbeat. A 13 or 14-year-old can get over herself. I asked if she's always resented my daughter. She said, I never resented her, but you can't possibly expect me to love her as much as our child. I'll love yours like a niece, but my baby is my baby. Then I asked if she had actually called my daughter names when she was trying to talk. She admitted to calling her Yapathrone and Little Miss has no mute button. She thought it was cute. I told her I can't marry someone who bullies my child. She lost it, saying she doesn't even feel safe around my daughter anymore. That she's going to hurt her and the baby just because she said she hated us this morning, and I stood there like a coward. She left for her parents' house and said she's going to ban me from any appointments, the birth, and even seeing the baby. I'll be talking to a lawyer about what my next steps should be. Added. Since people keep asking about my daughter's mother, my late wife ended our marriage when my daughter was 1.5. She started an affair with her coworker. She said it's due to PPD, and said she didn't want to be with me. She unfortunately committed suicide eventually. That's the end of our second post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, green flag for taking your daughter seriously and addressing the issue. You dodged a big one here. Get your lawyer. Your daughter only feels the way she feels about the baby because of the ex-fiancé. I bet she will be an amazing big sister. Our second commenter says, so when faced with the consequences of her actions, she turned to emotional manipulation instead of apologizing for being a shitty person. That tracks. Our third commenter says, I asked if she's always resented my daughter. She said, I never resented her, but you can't possibly expect me to love her as much as our child. I'll love yours like a niece, but my baby is my baby. Well, that completely fulfilled my prediction from the last post. I am so glad you didn't let your daughter down. You are all she has. For our last story, we have Dad donated his kidney to me when I was 18 and saved my life, but I'm all at 26 now and it's rejecting. Soon I'll need another kidney. However, I've decided I'm going to let nature take its course and go peacefully. I can't go through dialysis and a transplant again, it's too much. I've had enough. Some context: both my kidneys totally failed when I was 17 years old. It was sudden and unexpected. No one knew anything was seriously wrong with me until one day in school I collapsed. In the doctor's words, it was a miracle I didn't drop dead that day as the potassium in my blood was so high. Rushed to hospital. 2 months of being terrified out of my skull, traumatized, tubes out in me, needles, operations, dialysis for a year in a unit where I was the youngest by about 50 years. I got peritonitis when I tried to switch to a less grueling form of dialysis. This infection almost killed me. It fucks with my head because I met a girl I became really close with through Facebook who had kidney failure. She got peritonitis like I did and she died of it. She was 21. Depression and anxiety that has only worsened since, and at the point now where I actually welcome the idea of dying soon. This life hasn't been very kind to me even after the transplant. Everyone was celebrating as if I'd been cured, but anyone who's been in my situation will know it's a treatment, not a cure. Lost my hair. Skin is paper thin because of the steroids. Pretty much always covered in bruises and sore. Dizzy. Migraines, the list goes on. I feel guilty as my family are angry at choice. Apologies if it's a bit ranty, but usually when I talk to someone about this stuff, they either start crying halfway through and I have to stop, or they don't want to hear my depressing shit. That's the end of our last post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, PM me if you want. I had kidney failure at 16, transplant at 18 and retransplant after 17 years. Working in medicine, because what else should I do when I spent my teens in the hospital? I want you to know this, you're not yourself when you are uremic. It mimics depression, in that you have no energy or appetite and you have a hard time imagining that things can be different. It's your choice, ultimately. I personally probably wouldn't want to live for an extended amount of time on dialysis again, but if there is hope for another transplant for you, that will buy you up to 20 more years. No one around you will understand that there is no cure, and that even a new transplant will never last anywhere near your body's normal lifespan. Think back on the years after your first transplant. Any of those you would consider good years, and that you want to have that same energy or freedom of movement again? The process is so arduous and lonely that I understand why you might feel you're not up for the fight. If you're in doubt, listen to the people who care about you. Our second commenter says, I don't think anyone here is an asshole. You've unfortunately been given the short end of a really shitty stick, and are deciding that dying is better than enduring procedure after procedure, painful day after painful day. That is ultimately your choice. Those upset about it are upset because they love you and want you to hopefully get better. You all want a solution to an incredibly depressing problem, and disagree on that solution. That's it. If you're absolutely sure you're doing what you want to do, then just make the best of it and be with your family every moment you can until you can't. Our third commenter says, as a parent, I would be so saddened by the end result of your decision, and I could easily see how my grief might result in anger and frustration at the idea of losing you. That said, you are an adult, and I can respect your decision. It seems you've weighed the pros and cons. I hope that your family will come around to the same idea soon and offer you all the support and love you deserve. I'd want that for my child. I wish you the best life, OP, for however long you have it. Enjoy every moment. Love and hugs to you from a teary internet mom. That's all for today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.